Tomorrow on R&R in the morning, Odell Beckham meets with the Leadership Council. Is he going to give him a rose? We'll talk that and Tyron Smith in pads. Now back to the only two guys rooting for Croatia.
Really? Oh, good Lord.
Croatia, are they still around?
I have no idea. It's the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM AM 1250. Along with Joe Reinagel, I'm Jason Minix. At the Alamo Dome earlier today, the San Antonio Sports Class of 2023 Hall of Fame was announced, and one of those guys going in, good friend, Devin Brown. Back in the day when I used to do UTSA basketball in the late 90s, we used to do those games on Time Warner when Time Warner was a thing. Devin Brown, as a freshman, led him to the tournament, then goes on to the NBA, and now he's going into the Hall of Fame. Devin, man, how was your Tuesday?
Everything's going good. I was doing real good till I heard back in the day. Was it that far back?
You know, I was 12 years old back then doing broadcast. You know how old that makes me feel? Come on, Devin, I remember you in high school and then in college and then in the NBA. And then I see your kids now in high school. Don't go back in the day with, man, we all feel old now, bro.
Yeah, no, I was just kidding. Yeah, you're right. LJ graduated a couple years ago. Now, you know, we're working on I got a couple girls and then a boy coming after that. Yeah, man, great day. Got to meet the other inductees. We had a great time. They did a great job with it. And now it's back to reality, right? I'm rushing, trying to get to a Christmas recital, running into a little traffic. Talking to you guys on the phone. Hopefully all this goes very well. But yeah, it was great to see you. Yeah, great to be on the line with you guys.
Yeah, well, it's great to have you on. And again, congratulations, Devin. Man, we go way back as well. I remember flying on the plane with you guys when you went to the tournament and played Connecticut. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. It was very loud on there. We were chanting. We were going to be the first 16 seed to take down a number one. Now, that did not happen, but we still had a good time on the plane.
Hey, the first half was great. You remember? The first half was very close.
Oh, hey, and I tried to spill as much water on the court as I could when we were up 11-4 or whatever we were. I was like, we might as well stop this thing now. We don't need the rest of it. But for some reason, they wanted us to complete the game. UConn goes on some kind of 68-12 run or whatever they did, and that was the end of that.
Devin Brown joining us here on the Blitz. He's going into the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame. And Devin, during the press conference today, and you had a great line because, you know, they're going over all your accolades, and you were like, I need to frame this and tell all the kids that I coach now. See, I used to be really good. You know, when you think about your career, the fact that, you know, San Antonio, you went to UTSA back when it wasn't cool to go to UTSA, got them into the tournament for the first time. And then your NBA career, you actually play for the San Antonio Spurs, which is, you know, pretty incredible when you think about it. It's only right you're going into the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, there's a couple of things there in the question that you're asking me. Coming out, we had an assistant coach named Owen Miller, did a great job. He came over from Mississippi State, and he said, man, listen, I don't know what kind of a chance we have of getting you to come to UTSA, but it would be great. You know, you're a hometown name, and I think it would just be awesome if you came to our school. Well, Mrs. Kusan, shout out to Mrs. Kusan, my English teacher. I was struggling with the decision, you know, on what to do, where to go, and things like that. And she said, hey, listen, if you're she always kept a fish in her room, and everybody would look at that fish. She said, if you're good enough, they will find you. And that always stuck with me, and it made it a lot easier for me to choose UTSA. Now, let's move forward a little bit where I wanted to be, you know, looking back at it, I wanted to be the guy that kind of set the blueprint for all the guys that have aspirations of playing D1 at a mid-major level. Hey, go to UT, you know, talk with the coach on the schedule and whatever you have to do to be, you know, to get to wherever you want to be. And for whatever reason, guys after me didn't follow, but that's okay. Maybe they'll do that in the next couple of years, right?
Devin, it's interesting, and maybe they will, and that's a great point. But I mean, your life, when you look at your life and growing up, I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard for anybody to ever imagine that, number one, you'd play big-time college basketball and then play for your hometown team in the NBA.
Right.
I mean, when did you feel like you were kind of living a dream there for a while?
No, I'm going to answer that, truthfully, like I am every other question. Don't take me wrong, right?
Yeah,
You think?
I'm not,
keep lying to us, man.
I'm not scripting any of this, so I'm going to answer this the way I'm going to answer this. Hey, I look, when I was growing up playing at Miller's Pond and Five Palms and out there working on my game by myself in the heat, it was never, hey, I want to go to the NBA. That never crossed my mind. It was one of those deals where that just kind of happened. And a lot of people don't know that story. I'm going to share that story in the quickest way that I can. I got invited up there. I was with the Wizards in their summer league team. We were playing in Boston in the summer league team, and I'm walking out with the Wizards, and the Spurs are coming in for the next game. Coach Budenholzer says, "Hey, you're from San Antonio, right?" I said, "Yes, sir." And he goes, "Hey, why don't you come work out with my guys?" That's the only thing that he said to me. So we walk off, and I'm going, what? Like, I don't even – do they still practice that Incarnate Word, right? You remember those days?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, and first of all, no, they weren't, because I went up there. They were not up there. And so that's when they just got their practice facility. I went up there. I was up there for 2 months. And one day I was leaving, going to my car. Now, at the time, I did not park my car with all the other Ferrari and Porsches and all that stuff that was going on up there. And it was Pop. He said, "DB." And I turn around, and it's him. And he goes, "What are you going to be doing the next couple of months?" I said, "Not much, Coach." And he goes, "Well, you got anything planned?" I said, "Well, I was going to apply for an overnight stalker job at HEB. And he goes, "Oh, really? What are they paying you?" I said, $12 an hour. And he goes, "Well, you know what? I think we can pay you a little bit more than that once you come to training camp." I called my agent. It was an 11-year career after that. So
wow.
I'm blessed. Yeah, I'm blessed. A lot of people don't know that story, but today feels right to tell that. And so I was just truly blessed. Pop liked what he saw, and every assignment that I had, guarding people when I was in the NBA playing with the Spurs, was that, I want you to guard the toughest guy and go out there and give him hell, Devin. Yes, sir. I'll do it. Coach like that, you'll run through a wall for him. Now, I want to get y'all's opinion on this.
Uh-oh.
So obviously the rotations aren't right? Defensively, with what's going on with San Antonio, and they're a young team.
Mm-hmm.
They're a young team. If I miss a defensive assignment, not rotating over, Pop was screaming and yelling at me.
Yeah.
Why is he not doing that right now?
I think about a guy like Lonnie Walker, who's now with the Los Angeles Lakers. See, he got the Devin Brown treatment. You get screamed at, and then you get on the bench. Problem is, there's nobody on the bench right now for Pop to replace him with. They're all young. And when you were playing, you got a ring. You were playing for championships. Now, as much as it makes Joe Reineagle's head explode, they're trying for losses so they can get Wemby. I mean, it's the tank in full effect.
Oh, you're not okay. Listen, I've been around the block. You're not walking me into that. I still got to be around the streets of San Antonio. And if I answer that, they're going to come at me with something else. Look, I tell everybody this, and I say, no, they're not tanking, because that's not what Pop's about. That's not what we've built here in San Antonio. So if we go out there and we get beat pretty good, okay, you give the other team credit. You try and fix things. Back when I was playing, and I know you guys remember this, and I hope that my phone doesn't go off with all the veteran players that were on our team. Do you guys remember like the 3 big bottles of Flexol 454 that used to be in the middle of the room?
Yeah.
The locker room used to smell like that.
Yeah.
Young player like myself, I'd go over there and I'd get, a squirt or two. and put it on there like, what are you doing? I'm like, hey, all of us are like on our last leg. And I mean that in the greatest way with all the guys that I play with. But that's what it was like. And I'm going to be really honest with you. When the type of players that we had on our team, Pop said, as long as you're getting everything that we do defensively and work your way as far as offense goes and where you can score from, because it's a system, right? You're going to get the corner threes, the extra pass, things like that. As long as you can pick that up by the time we get through the playoffs, we're going to be a good basketball team. Well, that has completely changed with these guys. You got a lot of young guys out there. They're trying to pick it up. They're trying to keep that same Spurs culture, which is great. Been the last way for 20 years. But it's just tough right now, right?
Yes.
It's tough on everybody.
It's tough, man. I hate it, Devin. I hate it. Because Jason and I have been covering the Spurs for since Tim Duncan arrived.
Exactly.
Before Tim.
and even before Tim, and it's just hard to go through a season like this. I got to ask you real quick about this, though. That I always say that 2005 championship was the hardest one for the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, that entire playoff series, and then the final series with the Pistons.
Game 7 was incredible.
It was just incredible. What kind of memories do you have of that whole playoff run?
Well, it started from game 1. We lose to Denver at home. We had a players-only meeting after that. One of the guys that stood up and talked was Robert Horry. He's been around the block, right? He's been there. He's done that. And we didn't work all the way all year, winning those games, being in those battles to be the number 1 seed, to lose game 1 at home. And that was a young, just for our listeners, Andre Miller was at the point. Young Carmelo Anthony. They were athletic. They were young. They were trying to prove, that, they could be in there, with the heavyweights, which we were. For us we lose that game and then we win the next 3. I think they won one more and then we won another one or whatever happened with that. And after that, you go against Seattle. Seattle was another Ray Allen. Actually, let's call him Jesus Shuttlesworth because that's who he was at that time. He was not Ray Allen. He was very good, and that was one of my assignments. And then, when you talk about Detroit, not that I'm overlooking whoever it is that we played, like my memory, whatever. But, game 5, I remember Robert Horry getting when he walked by me to check into the game and he's grabbing at both knees and he hadn't even checked in yet. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, what's he going to do? He hits that dunk. One of the staples of what it means to be a San Antonio Spur. That was that left-handed dunk that he had over Rasheed Wallace, I believe. And then he hits the big 3 to even get it back to San Antonio for game 6 and game 7 when they used to do that. Because you do remember it was 2-3-2 at that time.
Yeah.
Detroit, when they got on the plane, they were going back with everything. They're going their way. They were playing good, and they just had to win 2 of those games. And for us to get it back to San Antonio, and then we showed up game 6, blew them out. And then game 7 was just, I mean, even the people that were sitting behind us, were asking us to sit down, and it was like, nah, this game's too good. Sorry, watch it on the Jumbotron or something. But,
oh man, all those rich people in the front row telling you guys to sit down. That game 7 was.
We can't see. We're like, no, we can't sit down. So we had a great time with that. Just a great series. Great. Just a kid from the southwest part of San Antonio, being a part of that, and it was great. It was great in so many ways. Yeah, when you look back at it.
Great memories for us, for sure.
Absolutely.
Right.
That series was incredible. Man, I couldn't be happier for you to get into the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame. The class was announced today. The big party is going to be at the Convention Center, the induction ceremony on Saturday, May 13th. So
Right.
I know where you're going to be on that particular day. It's going to be a great day. I imagine a lot of your former college and pro teammates are going to be in there, and all your friends and family with everything you're doing, all the kids you're coaching. It's going to be a wild time again Saturday, May 13th. Devin, man, great seeing you today. Congratulations on a well-deserved honor, my friend.
Biggest thing about what it is that happened today is this was the first time that we had 3 ladies go in and 2 men, Jimmy and myself, and then the 3 ladies that went in. Big shout out, to that, being a part of that, right?
Absolutely.
That adds to another part of the history. So congratulations to everybody that's in there. I'm glad that I'm in there, and seeing the picture that they threw up of me of UTSA, and when everybody sees it, it looks like a charge. But hey, superstars get those calls,
That's
right? So
right.
It was a block, it was a and one.
There
So
you
just
go.
had a great time today. Great to be on with you guys. You guys have my number. You call me anytime. We'll talk about whatever.